I found that I always struggled with discipline. I would set my mind to something and then I wouldn't do it. I would think that I want to do something, I wouldn't do it, and then I get upset at myself. And that cycle repeated for so long. But whenever I think of discipline, whenever I think of a disciplined person, I think of someone like David Goggins, screaming at themselves and, hating what they're doing. I don't want to live my life that way. Honestly, I don't want to have to fight myself every single day. Why not work with myself and also get the same things done as a disciplined person would? And that thought led me to this right here. I know it's going to be backwards on the video, but whatever. I call it tasks for tomorrow, and it helped me learn the habit of discipline. And so let me explain it to you. So on the right, or for me it'd be, yeah, on for me it's on the right. This is the date. So every day at the end of the day, I write down what I'm going to do the next day. So I write down the date and then a big list of tasks that I want to do the next day. That's it. it just it's really simple, it's really easy, but it's effective. And honestly, it's just a glorified task list, but when I explain it to you some more, you'll see that it's very valuable. It genuinely helps me do harder things than I normally would in a day, and that's priceless. It's genuinely priceless for me to get things done that I don't want to in the day. It's genuinely priceless. So, what kind of task do you want to put on there? You want to put on things that are capable, achievable for you, but you still have to work for them. So you wouldn't put on a routine, something like brush your teeth, unless you're not already brushing your teeth. You would you wouldn't put that on because that's just what you already do. You would do something like read a book, for example, because it's pretty easy to read a book, but it's also easy to not read a book. And so you would do something that it's entirely achievable for you, but at the same time you actually do have to get reminded about it. You have to actually try to achieve it. And a little thing I'll tell you is that I highly recommend a piece of paper for it. This is just because if you have a piece of paper, a physical thing, it'll be much easier to remember it because you would just have it in the corner of your room or even just on your bed, for example, and you'll get reminded of it much more often than a PDF on Microsoft or Google, for example. I don't use online stuff because honestly, it'd be a chore every day to pull that up, to turn on my computer and to pull up the document. I would just forget because it's too hard. Honestly, it is too hard to have to pull up a document every day. But if you have a paper in your room, you just pick it up. It's that simple. And the less you put on there, the better. So specifically, you want to isolate. So isolate is just pick one or two of the tasks that will give you the highest return for it. So it's like you wouldn't put something like go for a walk because even though that's very healthy, it's good for you. Ideally, you do something more like be healthy today. Or for example, you would do something like record a video today instead of just saying work on YouTube. Something specific as well. So it's the one thing that will help you the most. And if you can isolate that one thing to be as specific as possible, it will help you so much. And at the beginning, you want to make it as easy as possible. So I tell you that right now I have stuff like there like reading, book, video ideas. Like it's not very specific, and it's kind of hard. And honestly, at the beginning, I wouldn't be able to do it. At the very beginning, the very beginning, I genuinely put things on there like read a book because that's where I was at that time. And so if you were further ahead of me than at the beginning, sure, like do some bigger tasks, but make it so that it's easy. That's the biggest thing. Like if you can turn this into a habit, if you can turn doing this task list every day into a habit, that's the biggest return on investment, the biggest actual gain that you can get. Because by making this a habit, you're making discipline a habit. You're making it so that you write down what you're gonna do and then you actually do it. That genuinely is discipline. You said you're gonna do something, and now you're gonna do something. If you can turn this into a habit, discipline will turn into a habit. And so at the very beginning, make it easy. I don't want you to get overwhelmed, to not know what to do. Just make it easy for yourself. Make it something like read a book or even just go for a walk. Because if you can get the habit down, that's when you can actually start to increase the challenge of each task. But honestly, make it easy. It could be something as easy as brushing your teeth. I know I kind of dissed on it earlier in the video, but if you really need to do that, then do it. Make it a habit. And ideally, you do this every single day. The more often you do it, the more likely it is to turn to a habit. You want this to be a habit. So I would recommend you to do it every day. Make it easy for yourself. And also just make it available for you. That's why I highly recommend a physical piece of paper. And once you do it, once you actually get a habit of doing it, once you get a hang of it, slowly increase the challenge. Make it slightly a bit harder, just a bit. And over time, you'll see that the actual difficulty of things that you do increases over time. And even if you don't write down something on the paper, you'll find that it's almost like you're learning discipline from the paper. You'll find that you actually say what you're going to do. No, you actually do what you're going to say.